All right. Hello, everyone. And again, happy Friday. My name is Morgan Heitzma with Scott Leroy Marketing. And today's class, we're going to be talking about DocuSign. Today's class is going to be the first portion of DocuSign. Just note that we do have a second class, DocuSign 201. So if we don't cover everything that you're expecting here today, just note that there's a more advanced DocuSign class as well. As we take a look here today, we are greeted with the KW Command login page. We're going to be primarily inside of a KW Command as well as our DocuSign. So we're going to start off here in order to kind of get all of our connections set up. And again, you'll be able to see how not only we connect our KW branded DocuSign account to KW Command, but you also see how it works and how they both talk to each other. So as we're taking a look here today, just note that today's class is going to be recorded and can be found on our YouTube page. I'm going to drop that link in the chat box down below for you guys. And also note within this chat box, if you have any questions throughout today's training, please feel free to enter those questions in that chat box down there. I'll do my best to stop in real time and address those live for you. If by chance I miss any questions, just note that I'm going to stay for a few minutes at the end of class here today in order to kind of get those answered. If by chance we need to troubleshoot your account or we need to dive in a little bit further and figure out what's going on, please feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. I'm going to throw that link in the chat box down below for you as well. All right, perfect. As we are taking a look here today, again, we are greeted with the KW Command login page. We're going to use Scott's login for today's demonstration. But if this is your very first time seeing this page right here, just note it's going to be agent.kw.com or console.command.kw.com. But the more generic one is agent.kw.com right here. So as we're taking a look at this right here, again, it's going to take your KW username and password. We're going to go ahead and enter that in right here. And then we'll choose the sign in option. And as we are logged in here, we're greeted with the home page of our KW Command platform. So again, as we're taking a look at the home page here, on the left-hand side, if we were to click on this red KW square, it'll open up all the navigational pages through our KW Command system. So your DocuSign is going to primarily live within your opportunities right here. It's going to look like two people shaking hands. It's the icon right there. Now, before we actually jump into our opportunities and kind of take a look at this, we're going to have to set up our KW DocuSign account and make sure it's integrated and connected within our KW Command. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this red KW square once more and kind of close up these icons. And then I'm going to navigate over to my name and my headshot on the top right-hand corner right here. Once we give this a click, you will see a drop down right down here. And third from the bottom, you should see an option called Settings. Once we give this a click, it should take you into your KW Command settings page. Now, on the right-hand side, you'll see a number of these different third-party applications that, for example, if you currently utilize Facebook within your real estate business, you can go ahead and connect that. Same thing for Twitter, Instagram, all of these third-party platforms that, again, if you have it, you can go ahead and connect it. There's going to be a couple of platforms in here that are going to be a little bit different, like Command Email. Since this is automatically integrated into your command system, you won't really need to connect it, but you can manage it. And as we scroll up a little bit further here, DocuSign right here, you'll see this connection. Yours may not say connected just yet, so I'm going to just go ahead and disconnect this and kind of find this where we would normally locate it if we were signing up for the very first time. Now, as we are taking a look at this, it is housed underneath digital signature and transactions. Now, again, most of these buttons, if you have it, you can connect it. Your DocuSign right here, this is going to be a special connection where it initiates your KW branded DocuSign account. So for example, if I were to go to DocuSign.com and try to create an account through DocuSign.com, unfortunately, this version of this DocuSign account will be incompatible for your KW command. So we'll actually need to start off creating it within our settings here. The reason for this is our KW branded DocuSign account will have something called DocuSign Rooms. And each room is going to be associated with each opportunity that you create. If you go to DocuSign.com and try to create one through just the regular website, this won't have the rooms integration with this account, and it won't allow you to connect it because it won't have that compatibility with the opportunities. So again, name of the game first and foremost is go ahead and connect or register your DocuSign, your KW branded DocuSign through the command settings right here. Now, as we're taking a look, this will be where we find it. We'll click on Connect Account right here, and a pop-up will show for us to enter our first name, last name, as well as our preferred email. If you take a look here on this pop-up, in the world of logins, you'll notice that we are kind of missing a password and sometimes a security question. So keep in mind that this pop-up right here is really the first half of you creating your KW branded DocuSign account. So you enter first and last name, and then the email address that you want this KW branded DocuSign account to be connected to. As we're taking a look right here, if Scott already created Scott Leroy at kw.com from the original website, unfortunately, that email address will be locked in to this account right here. And it'll give you an ugly red error saying that it's incompatible, that it's already being utilized for a different non-KW account. So again, we'll have to make sure that we use a email address that is not associated with any other DocuSign account to date. As we're taking a look right here, again, if you enter in your email address for the very first time, we can click on Send Registration Email. Again, this will send an email to this address from DocuSign, just asking you to create that password and security question. So it's a two-step process in creating your KW branded DocuSign account. If you already have a KW branded DocuSign account created and you just need to disconnect and reconnect, say the connection was a little bit wonky or somehow it just accidentally got disconnected and you need to reconnect it, you'll have this little button right here that says log in here. And we can simply click on this and we can enter in our KW username and not KW username and password, but our KW branded DocuSign login info. And it should allow us to proceed forward. So right here, instead of Scott Leroy, I'm going to type in Morgan Heitzma. I'm going to simply click log into DocuSign, and it should give me a pop-up to enter in that password that I created. Remember, that's going to be that password that we create through that DocuSign email that they send to us. And then once we hit login here, we'll say no thanks or skip for now. And it'll say DocuSign is now ready and can be found within your opportunities in the documents section. Hey, Terry, I do see your question. Yeah, if you need some help changing over the email within your DocuSign account, absolutely. Go ahead, send us an email. We have specific instructions. So again, for everyone on the call as well, if we are thinking about swapping our email address for DocuSign, it takes a very specific set of steps. So again, if you're wondering how to do that, feel free to go ahead and send us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we'll be sure to help get started on that for you. All right, so now we have our KW branded DocuSign account connected. We had that blue banner that popped up that said it's ready to be utilized within our opportunities. So now we should be ready to go. However, there is going to be two extra steps that we're going to need to do in order to kind of jump into our DocuSign. The second step after connecting our DocuSign inside of our settings is going to make sure that we have a contact within our database. So again, if you're with me from our other previous classes, just note that everything within your KW command platform pretty much says to which contact do you want to apply this to. So in order to create a opportunity, we'll first need to create a contact here. And I just jumped into my database here. I went a little bit quickly. So again, just clicking on the red KW square and then making my way to contacts. It's going to be right below the home page right here. At this point, we can simply enter in our contacts information if we don't have them inside of our database just yet. Or if we already do, we can simply search for them here within the search category. Now, so I'm going to use this contact as an example here, and just note that we do have full in-depth contacts classes and database classes. So again, if you're interested in learning how to create contacts or tags or things like that, working on your database, we have full in-depth class on that for you. But for now, we'll just go ahead and use this sample name here. I'll go ahead and give this a click. And within fake name right here, once we actually enter in our contacts information, all of the information that we enter in is going to appear on the left-hand side. All the activities that happen with this contact are going to appear on the right-hand side. So first and foremost, we have our timeline, and nothing's really happened in our timeline just yet. But as we navigate over here, we'll have a section called Opportunities. And within our opportunities, it's pretty cool because they give you two different ways to create opportunities based off of what you're focusing on at that point in time. So in this case right here, since I'm underneath a contact, this would be more contact focused or database focused. And if you're working on your database here, this would be a great way to enter opportunities or missing opportunities that you need to enter for your contacts right here. So again, very database focused. Again, we can create another opportunity just simply by going to the opportunities section right here, two people shaking hands. And if your main objective is to be a transaction focused, right? This will be where you can kind of take a look at that in a different kind of light here. So here we can actually jump into all of our opportunities, take a look here, and be more transaction focused. And it'll give us the same sort of option here when we click on Create Opportunity. This tab will pop open here, and again, we can just simply create an opportunity. Now, very much like our contacts class, we have a full in-depth opportunities class, a cool little tips and tricks as well to create checklists. But for this demonstration right here, I'm just going to simply create a quick opportunity so we can go ahead and take a look at our DocuSign here. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and create a listing right here. I'm going to create a fake name as the contact. There we go. Perfect. And then again, one last thing to mention while we are creating the opportunity here, super important, the co-seller, right? Again, if you have a husband and wife that you're working with, we always ask that you keep the contacts separate because you can always pair them together at different times that you need them. This is a great example right here is maybe fake name and fake name's husband or wife may be purchasing a home this year, but maybe fake name and fake name's business partner 2 years down the line are going to invest in a commercial property that has nothing to do with their significant other. At this point, since all the contacts are separate, you can go ahead and filter depending on which transaction that you need. So super cool there. As we scroll down right here, fake name listing. Again, we always want to, if it's a listing, we want to enter in that address. So 123 Main Street. And then we'll just do a quick opportunity phase and stage, which is just going to be at the very beginning here in that cultivate. So again, apologies if I'm going a little too quickly here for you, but just note that that again, we do have a full in-depth opportunities class that goes a little bit slower for you. But now that we've actually created this opportunity here, so again, we'll just jump back into our cultivate stage. We have that 123 Main Street opportunity that we created underneath fake name. And so now when we start to jump into these opportunities here, this is where kind of the fun begins. So jumping in here, again, much like the contact here, the left-hand side is all the information that I filled out about the opportunity. The right-hand side will be, information that we may fill in later. So again, this is going to be that property information. So if it's a buyer, you may have to wait for that information to fill in right here. But if it's a listing, what we can do is we can go ahead and select from listings on the very top left-hand corner right here. So we're going to wait for a minute here because I want to kind of show you some of the magic inside of our DocuSign account. So we don't have any listing for 123 Main Street just yet connected onto our opportunity here. But if we move over from details all the way over to our documents right here, this is going to be where we submit our documents to our market center to be reviewed and approved. So we'll go ahead and give that a click right here. And as we are taking a look inside of our documents section right here, again, if this is a brand new opportunity, we may not have anything populating just yet. We may have to first pick a checklist type. Now, again, your market center is the one that creates these checklist items or these checklist types. So if mine looks different, that is to be expected. But jumping through here, we've pulled up a residential listing on the left-hand side here. And again, our residential listing has our listed, under contract, and closed, our three different sections that we would typically use for submitting contracts or documents. So listed right here, as you see, you have all of these options where we can drag and drop files from our computer and then go ahead and approve them to the markets or submit them to the market center to get approved. Only until you drag and drop a file will your submit to market center button become active for you. So since we don't have anything right here just yet, you'll see that's grayed out. But right next to the submit to market center button right here, you'll have a start a transaction button. And the start a transaction button will only appear here if we have successfully connected our DocuSign within our command settings right here. If we have not connected it, chances are this may not appear here for you. As we're taking a look, if we give this a click right here, what it's going to do is it's going to open up a new tab for us and jump us into our DocuSign Room. Once this creates a DocuSign Room for us, this button's going to turn something similar to this, kind of like a white outline button with blue text. This is to indicate that we have successfully connected a DocuSign Room. So we'll actually get to see this in real time here. So start a transaction, dark gray button means you are connected, but there's no room created just yet for this opportunity. Once we click start a transaction and DocuSign right here, we'll see that new tab pop up. There we go. And it should create a DocuSign Room for us. So really cool here. And what's cool about this is this DocuSign Room is strictly for this one and only opportunity that we've created right here. So 123 Main Street, 123 Main Street. So they're tied. So everything that we work on in here is solely for that one opportunity or that one transaction. Now, again, it all depends on your market center. You may or may not have forms that auto-populate in here. Chances are you may not. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and delete these right here so we can kind of start from scratch here and just see like a fresh, brand new DocuSign Room. Now, really cool here. So again, this is how we start to pair our opportunities to our DocuSign rooms. And as you see right here, it changed from that start a transaction, that dark gray button, to go to transaction, that white and blue button right here. So again, now as we're trying to jump through opportunities, if we're working on our different transactions here, we can just simply click and go through and see which ones has rooms just by checking out that button right there. All right, so what else is really cool about this DocuSign room right here is everything, all the little bits of information that we have entered into that opportunity is going to feed through in this DocuSign room right here. And it's going to feed through underneath the section called details. And if we give this a click right here, you'll see first and foremost, let's take a look. We have 123 Main Street and we have fake name right here. If we go back to details, we can kind of take a look at all the other stuff that we have. So really it's just 123 Main Street and fake name. But if we go back to our details section inside of our DocuSign room, you'll see seller one, since this is a listing opportunity. Seller one, it populates all of that information. So fake name, phone number, email address, any other information that you have on that contact. And then as we scroll down here a little bit more, you have the listing agent. Since this is Scott's KW command here, he's going to be the listing agent. You'll see Scott's information. So really cool to be able to see that info pull in from the opportunity. We can actually see this once more over here. We don't have a listing just yet. We do know it is in the US, but there is no listing information right here. If I were to go to my opportunity here, now again, this only works with listing opportunities. For buyer opportunities, unfortunately, we'll have to enter that in manually through the property section. But for listings here, you'll have this cool button where all we'll have to do is select from listings. I'm going to choose all listings here, and then I'm going to type in that 123 Main Street. And we'll scroll down here a little bit. We'll go ahead and select this one right here, 123 West Main Street. We'll select this, and what it will do is it'll auto-populate all of that information for us inside of our opportunity here. I'm going to refresh one more time. And one thing to keep in mind is whenever you're starting to add additional information or edit or swap information on your opportunity after your DocuSign room is created, you'll see that that you'll have some edited information or some edited tags right here. What this means is you've changed the opportunity, but DocuSign has not registered that change just yet. So what we can do is we can click on this sync transaction button right here, and it'll sync all of the missing information over to the DocuSign room. So if I click sync transaction, sync transaction right here, and then update, we'll have a banner pop up. But if we click refresh, it should all say synced once more. There we go. Perfect. So going back over to our DocuSign room, again, remember we don't have any information about our listing, but we just pulled a listing in through our opportunity and we just synced that transaction. So now if I hit refresh right here, it should pull in all that listing information for you. So again, name of the game is adding in as much information as you can, because there's going to be back-end automations to help make your lives a little bit easier when it comes to filling out these forms. So really cool here. So I have a seller. I don't have a buyer listed on right here. We'll go ahead and show you one more adjustment when it comes to the details tab. And again, if I were to kind of orient myself a little bit more, documents right here, this tab, this is going to be kind of like your home page inside of your DocuSign room. So every time I go to my opportunities and then go to transaction, it's going to end me up in the document section inside of my DocuSign rooms. And then your menu bars, details right here on the left, and you got people on the right, envelopes, messages, and history. So this is your menu options within your DocuSign room right here. So it tries to make like a little step down right here, so you know that all these options are within that title here. Now everything above right here is going to go outside of your DocuSign Room, and it's going to kind of give you the DocuSign Rooms just like homepage. So for example, if I were to click on Rooms right here, it'll take me out of 123 Main Street, and it'll just kind of show me all the different rooms that I've created. But I can show the very first one at the very top right here, that 123 Main Street. I can click right back into it. And then again, trying to reorient myself, go back to the document section, and then here we are. Now again, as we are looking at this right here, how do we add documents or forms into our rooms in order to fill out and send out to get signatures? So up at the very top right-hand corner right here, if we were to click on this headshot or initial, it should give us a drop-down option, and we're going to look for the option called Preferences. Now, inside of Preferences right here on the left-hand side, the very bottom option is going to be called Integrations. We'll give that a click. And from here, this is where you go to set up and connect to get your forms. So there's going to be a couple different options when it comes to this right here. So first and foremost, in the center here, if you do not have anything connected, you may only have a Add Provider button, and it may be blue. If you click on that blue Add Provider button right there, you should see a pop-up that looks like this. It should have a number of different associations for you, but you also should have a little piece of text down here that says Continue to Company Forms without validation. Now, we can go ahead and click on this, and once we do, this will actually pull in our Market Center forms, so our company forms. So we're going to want to pull in our Market Center forms and then our board forms. So once we have our Market Center forms pulled in, again, we can simply click Add Provider right here. If you belong to any of these associations, feel free to enter in the information. If you belong to the NAR, you'll have your associations in a drop down right here. Now, I do know some of you may be using zip forms, right, instead of the Association of Realtors. So in this case right here, what we would do is we would click on the zip forms button on the very top here, the small arrow, and then go ahead and enter in our zip forms username and password, and this should secure that connection for you to be able to pull forms from your transactions folders as well as your zip forms libraries. So those are the two different options for you, plus the Market Center forms right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click on Rooms once more right here. I'm going to go ahead and find the room that we were working on. So that 123 Main Street. And then it did pop us up into the Details tab right here. I'm just going to orient ourselves back to that document section. So as we're taking a look right here, how do we pull these forms in? Once we actually have that connected there, we'll click on the blue Add button, top right-hand corner, and this will give you a number of different options on how you'd like to pull your forms in. So again, you'll have your computer, you'll have a number of different digital storage platforms, and then you'll have zip forms and DocuSign forms. If you're connecting through the NAR, you're going to be pulling through DocuSign forms right here. So as we are taking a look right here, you'll have two different options. You'll have your packets as well as your libraries right here. So packets are going to be kind of like folders that you can pull different documents from your libraries and kind of create your own like filtered packet of forms. And then your libraries are going to pull from your Market Center forms as well as your board forms. If you integrated zip forms, you should be able to pull them in through that add button right here. You should be able to pull them in, and then you can work on them within your DocuSign room right here and then send them out. Absolutely. Now, DocuSign forms right here, I'm just going to pull a couple of random forms in here for us to kind of help fill out and send out to get signatures. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to select a couple here. How you select and pull in forms, you'll have a couple different options. So you'll have these checkboxes right here. You'll see one checkbox didn't really give me anything, and one checkbox kind of gave me a pop-up right here. This pop-up, if we were to create packets, which we go over through the DocuSign 201 class, if you were to create packets, you'll have the ability to kind of choose these templates right down here if you need them. But in this case right here, we're just going to pull in one form, maybe two right here. And once we pull these forms in, you'll see that they appear as kind of square objects within our DocuSign rooms. Now, one thing to keep in mind is on the bottom right-hand corner, you have these little icons. And if I were to zoom up just a little bit here, there we go, you'll see these icons are labeled form. And through DocuSign Forms, they have a unique integration on the back end called Power Forms. And what Power Forms does, I'm going to scroll up just a little bit, is Power Forms actually takes all the information from your Details tab that you fill in and applies it to these documents right here. So you don't have to keep filling out that information over and over and over again on each form. So super cool. One other thing to mention is if this is a PDF, you'll have that iconic PDF image with that red coloring. And unfortunately, PDFs do not have that integration as the Power Forms do, and you may not be able to draw information from the Details tab here. One last thing to mention about these icons right here is you will have a green icon once a form has been signed and sent back over here. That green icon right here just indicates that this is a completed, signed, sealed, and delivered document that you can go ahead and upload to your Market Center. All right, let's go ahead and zoom back out just a little bit here. There we go. Now taking a look at this, let's go ahead and click on one of these forms here. And inside this form right here, you automatically see that it pulled in that seller's name, that pulled in that property address right here, pulled in that the listing agent, as well as some other additional information. So really cool here. Again, say we found a buyer and we already have that buyer's name. What we can do, instead of filling out every single form, we can go to Details here. We'll scroll all the way down to the right-hand side here till we see Buyer 1. And then once we need to edit anything on this Details tab right here, we can click the Edit button on the very top here. And it should open up all these objects here for us to edit. So let's say Sally Sue is buyer number 1. We'll hit Save at the very bottom here. And then once we go back to our documents and check on that document, it should have Sally's information populated. Perfect. As you see right here, Sally Sue. So again, this is the power of the Power Forms, the power of the Power Forms, as well as the power of the opportunity integration into the DocuSign Details. So really cool to be able to see that. Again, takes all the data entry out of it for me. So if you're happy with this document and you're ready to send this document off, again, we can save and close. I didn't really edit anything in that when I was viewing it, but we can save and close. If you want to check out this other document right here too, we'll give this a look. And you see that it populated all those little bits of information that draw from that Details tab. So again, really should help you save some time. Now, when I'm ready to send these forms out to get signatures, what I can do is I can click on these checkboxes on the top left-hand corner of each form right here. Again, they're a little difficult to see, but again, each form has a checkbox, and when we click on these checkboxes right here, it'll give us a menu option on the middle section here for us. Yes, if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat box down below, and I'll do my best to help address them for you. As we're taking a look at this menu option right here, I can choose one, I can choose multiple forms, but the most important thing within this menu bar is going to be this middle button. It's going to look like a pen right here. It's going to say Create Envelope. If we click on Create Envelope right here, first and foremost, this is a newer kind of automation that they have that popped up, newer update. What it does right here, what it's basically asking you is it says, hey, from the forms that you've selected, we're seeing that there's this many categories for signatures based on these forms. We can choose to enter in the buyer agent, the listing agent, things like that. But if we don't have a cooperating broker or things like that, we can go ahead and just simply select the ones that we want and click on continue, or we can deselect all of them and then just continue on normally. What this is basically doing is it's trying to take that information again from the details. Who is your buyer agent? Who is your listing agent? And it's trying to gather that name and email address for you so you don't have to go hunting for it on our next page. Terry, that is a fantastic question. That would be something mainly for your principal reviewing broker. Your Market Center's principal reviewing broker should be the most up to date on which forms may or may not be the best to use. Now, again, I didn't select any, so I'm just going to click on continue right here. Again, it says, are you sure? We noticed that you didn't select any contacts. I said, I'm going to say that's perfectly fine. We'll go ahead and enter them on our next page. So I'll click continue here. And on our next page, this is where we're going to go to create the email that we're going to send out to our clients to have these documents to sign. So up at the very top here, it just shows you the two files or the two documents that we pulled in. Again, I can simply, if I accidentally pulled one in, I can click on this delete button. Perfect. Or if I accidentally deleted the wrong document, I can simply click on this upload right here. And again, I can upload documents from my computer. I can use a template. But in this case, we're going to use that second DocuSign Room doc for us. There we go. And we'll just add this back in for us. So this is basically your last call for adding any documents in here before we get started on adding the initials and signatures and then sending out to our clients. So again, these are the only two documents I'm going to use for today. As we scroll down right here, we'll have a number of different signing. So I'm going to delete this right here. You'll see that we have at least one signer because that's what we're what we're doing here. But again, if I were to click add recipient right here, you can also click you can add as many different signers as you need to. You notice that each signer has its own unique color. On the next page, as we go to drag initials and signatures and date stamps and things like that on these forms, this will be very helpful because it'll help you be able to identify which signers are going to be placed in which sections on the form. So first and foremost, let's just add a few contacts here. So let's add Morgan here. Let's add Scott. And then as we're typing this in, it should pull in that information for us. So we'll just wait a moment here. Perfect. And then last but not least, let's go ahead and add fake name. We don't have fake name, but we can go ahead and use that anyways as an example of manually entering in a contact. Again, perfectly fine to enter this in. But now we have 3 different signers that's going to participate on these 2 forms that we're going to send out. Right next to our names right here, we have needs to sign, customize, and a delete button. Now, if we choose, well, of course, if we choose the delete button, of course, this will delete a contact for us. But the customize and needs to sign gives us a unique set of options when it comes to our signers. So does one signer need to sign in person? Does one signer just need to receive a copy? Does somebody just need to view the documents that are being signed? So you have a number of different options right here. And then for customize, this kind of allows you to be able to create like a authentication code, things like that. So you can add a private access code or add a private message here. So we have Scott Leroy, and then we also have a fake name right here. When we started deleting and editing contacts from this, remember we had about 3, I think, and I deleted the very top one. If we take a look at our signing order on the left-hand side, this is something that, again, when we deal with technology on a day-to-day basis, it's important for us to be able to find those little quirks. This right here, I'd strongly encourage you to be mindful of, because it looks like this doesn't quite translate the best when you start to adjust and edit these things. So if I just scroll this down right here, you'll see signer 3 and signer 4 right here. Right, scroll it back up. Now you have signer 2 and signer 3. So if you're doing any adjustments or editing when it comes to your signing order right here, I would strongly encourage you to manually adjust these to be the correct signing order right here. So now we have signer 1 and signer 2. So scrolling back down right here, you have one last option, and this is adding a message. Now, truth be told, DocuSign does a pretty good job of sending that email out. It looks nice. It has a button to sign, but if you needed some additional context, you have your subject line, which is going to be your email subject line right here, and then an email message. So, please sign by 9/12. So again, you can add any additional message in your email if it's pretty important. But again, just keep in mind that DocuSign does a pretty good job of creating a nice email. Now, moving onward here, we have 3 different buttons. We have our next button on the very bottom, and then we also have our advanced options and our actions. Within our actions, if you want to save and close and pick this up later, we can feel free to do so. If you were just testing it out and you wanted to delete it, you can click on discard. And the next button right here, this will take you on to applying those different tools to those forms. Another fantastic question. If the client is a trust, is there room to add trustees' names? We have not seen it be able to facilitate that many amount of characters. I would probably say either defer to your principal reviewing broker's best judgment when it comes to that, or I would say probably use the individual's name that you are doing business with, the person that is signing the document, right? Because first name, last name is essentially going to be what is going to be labeled on here. But again, always best to reach out to your principal reviewing broker. Now, as we take a look at this form right here, so the center is those 2 documents that we've entered in. The left-hand side are going to be all of the different tools that we can apply to these forms. The right-hand side is going to populate all of the different options that you have for each tool. So, for example, if I drag signature over to this form right here, keep an eye out on the right-hand side, and you'll see all of the different options that we have when it comes to this sign button right here. So again, name of the game, left-hand side is tools, right-hand side is options for that tool. So as we're taking a look at the options right here, you'll see recipient is Scott Leroy. You'll also see in yellow right here. That's because on the previous page, Scott was labeled as that yellow and the first signer right here. Up at the top left, you'll also see that same sort of drop down. If we need to switch it to signer number 2, signer number 3, we can easily use these buttons right here on the very top to swap all of our different options here. So you have signer number 1 and signer number 2. Again, all the different options appear when you click on the tool here. So again, if I accidentally said signer number 1 really needs to be right here, I can click on this and I can swap it back over. So I can very easily swap these. One other thing that's very important when it comes to your options on the right hand side is your required field. Is this signature required or is it optional? The check mark means it's required, and unchecking it means it's optional. When it's optional, you'll see that it kind of loses its color right here, but you can still kind of see it in the outline. So of course this one is going to be the yellow. This is going to be kind of that blue. And as we scroll down right here, we also see, let me bring this close to this date right here. We also see these number of text boxes as well. So one thing that I do want to bring to your attention is as we're going through and we're applying these signature stamps and initials and dates and all this information for your clients to sign, all of these gray boxes, your clients are not going to have the option to fill any of these gray boxes out. This is essentially your last call when it comes to adding any information onto this form. So again, on the top right hand corner, if I were to click on preview, we'll see the signature, but you'll see that all of these are gone. All these text boxes are gone. Again, any text boxes that are gray, only you will be able to see and fill out. All right, perfect. So again, let's go ahead and fill in the date right here. So I just double click right here. And now we have a date filled out. So again, preview one more time right here. Your clients will see the information, but they won't see the text box to be able to fill it out. Now, scrolling over here a little bit more, I'm not quite sure what, oh, perfect. We do have a signature that we can kind of scroll down right here. If anything seems a little too large or a little too small, on the corners of these objects, or most of these objects, you have the ability to kind of increase or decrease in the size. So I may decrease it just a little bit here. And then next you'll see a date stamp. So again, seeing how this is yellow right here, let's make this a required field. We'll go ahead on the top left-hand corner, we'll choose Scott's name again, and then we'll choose a date signed, and then we'll just drag the date signed over to that date stamp. Perfect. Now, again, let's see right here. Again, you have the ability to check these check boxes, right? But if you wanted this to be an option for your, say this is a form that you want the clients to have the option to check on or check off, you'll have on the left-hand side your check boxes. So we can go ahead and just drag this over top. And then again, let's choose signer number 2 to have the checkbox. And then we'll choose a right click on these. And any object that you want to kind of like duplicate, you should be able to copy and then not only paste, but you have an option to paste to a location. So this right here, I can right click and I can click paste to location, and it'll paste super close to that location right here. So I don't have to try very hard. There we go. And so, so as we scroll down, we have another signature right here. So we'll just choose fake name for a signature. Another date signed right here. And that should be pretty much about it for us. We got one more signature and date signed. So again, let's copy, paste to location. And I'm going to copy here. And I'm going to paste the location. And again, very easy to swap back and forth between your signer 1 and signer 2. One last thing that I kind of want to show you on here is going to be the drop downs, because I think drop downs are pretty cool. You have drop down options going to be right below your checkbox. If I were to drag this over right here, on the right hand side, you'll have your list and you'll have the ability to add a number of different options. So for example, if I wanted option number 1, option number 2, or option number 3 right here, I can go ahead and double click this and see what it looks like in real time. Oops, let me do that 3. There we go. Option 1, option 2, option 3. And then if you want a default option, if you say, I actually want this to be defaulted as number 1, you can keep it as that default. There we go. So yeah, super cool. Now, as we're taking a look right here, I only got these 2 forms right here. I got some signatures, I got some date stamps, I got some check boxes, and I got a drop down right here. Just also keep in mind that there's a number of different tools and resources on the left-hand side right here. So you have an attachment, you have a note, so a number of different things to drag over. Oh, let me drag over initial. You also got your initial here as well. So anytime you need to drag any initials over, you have that ability. But it looks pretty good. It looks pretty full right now. So we're just going to go ahead and hit send right here. And what this is going to do is this is going to actually send that envelope out. And again, trying to reorient ourselves. We're still in that 123 Main Street, the one for the opportunity that we created right here. We're inside the document section. Oops, there we go. We're inside the document section on both the opportunity and the DocuSign Room. Now, again, as we take a look, if we scroll over 1, 2, you'll have envelopes right here. And within envelopes, you'll see all the different envelopes that you have sent out that have been signed or that have been, approved or denied, anything like that. So, as we take a look right here, you'll see correct. If I made a mistake right here, what I can do is I can either void the envelope, so I can deny it completely and say, sorry guys, we have to send this envelope out one more time, or I can correct the envelope and say, ooh, actually, support@scottleroymarketing.com was not the email address that I wanted to send this to. I actually wanted to send this to morganheitzma@kw.com. See if that saves that in there for me. And then we'll hit next. And then we'll hit correct at the very bottom here. And that should correct the envelope here for you. So you have the option to edit it or to deny it, I guess. Again, being able to kind of see that, you also have the ability to see who you're waiting on to sign this envelope as well. So as we have 2 signers, signer number 1 is currently signing the document. Signer number 2 is waiting for signer number 1 to finish. How do you erase the room? So we have the ability to void envelopes. As far as rooms go, rooms are going to be kind of integrated into your market center as well as your opportunities. So for example, if there was say Sally sample right here, say I didn't want Sally sample anymore. We're done with that example, right? We can click on actions on the top right hand corner and we can click close room or leave room, but I believe it has to go under review first, and your market center may have to approve it to be denied. So click close room right here, status, test room. And then I have to select a status right here. So let's do listing expired. And then it says, congratulations, your room has been submitted for review. And then so then you have to wait for your for it to be approved to be closed out. For your envelope though, so going back to rooms over here on our 123 Main Street, if you want to delete your envelope, we can go ahead and give it a click one more time. Click that more, and then we could just void it out. And then again, if Scott Leroy said, hey, I actually don't use morganheitsma@kw.com anymore, or hey, I never got that email, we can actually resend it. So we can click resend right here and resend it out. And then so it got resent back to morganheitsma@kw.com. Gosh, I think that may be about it for me today. Again, I'm going to stay around to kind of help answer any of these additional questions that I may have missed. But again, thank you guys so much. Also note that there is a DocuSign 201 class as well, right? So we didn't cover some stuff that you may have been waiting for. So just keep an eye on that calendar until we get to DocuSign 201. And again, if you have any questions from now until then, please feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com.